Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com. I'm using whole signs for the houses here to aid clarity, I hope. And this is the chart of the solar annular eclipse happening on Sunday, the 21st of June, 7:41 British summertime in the UK. And it's just hours after the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the turning point of the year, when the sun is the farthest way above the equator, and it looks like it's not actually doing it. It's turning and moving now south. So in the northern hemisphere, it's the summertime. In the southern hemisphere, it's winter. So the turning point, the longest day of the year, a time of celebration. We have a lot of retrograde planets at the moment. Now that's not unusual, but what the difference is that Venus is retrograde and Mercury both at this time. Outer planets go retrograde every year. It's not something to think of as rare at all. But Venus only goes retrograde about every 18 months. Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year. So the focus on the sign of Cancer, the moon in its own sign, emotions, feelings, family, all are very, very important at this particular time. The eclipse energy is also making what they call a T-square, the red lines, creating this tension with Neptune and Mars. Now, Mars has joined Neptune, it's now moving ahead, and Neptune will go retrograde this coming week. So those two are separating. But Mars is going to increase its energy as it moves into Aries at the end of the month, and that is where it's strong. And Mars will be going retrograde also this year, not quite yet. So this time, a turning point, a time of reviewing. It's a time of making wishes, always at a new moon. And also, one aspect really sung out to me, and this is moon and sun at 0 degrees. That little green dotted line takes me over to Saturn, which is retrograde. Now that is an aspect called an inconjunct. And the inconjunct, it's not easy to say, and that's the whole point. It's like, ew, it's awkward, isn't it? The elements are involved here. So the Cancer element is a water sign. Saturn currently in Aquarius is an air sign. And those two don't get along. You know, certain elements get along really well. So water likes the element of earth. Aquarius, air sign, likes fire signs. So this energy, this inconjunct, is what I call the letting go aspect. And on my website, I'm giving a beautiful little idea. It's called an angel prayer, and a good healing exercise, specifically about letting go. The angel connected to the summer solstice, and it does vary, but the angel that I like to connect with is Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel. And in Orosoma color system, he is definitely the Archangel of summer solstice. Gabriel, the messenger. How appropriate to think of this, because Mercury is in the sign of Cancer. To do with birth, to do with family, creativity as well. We have another good aspect, there are a few in this chart, of Chiron, the archetype of the wounded healer, at 9 degrees, Uranus also at 9 degrees of Taurus. It's a weak aspect, however, it is there. And this is all about change, Uranus, being creative, inventive, that's what Uranus likes. And Chiron is the wounded healer. Both of them, you can time to the day. So you can time a Chiron transit to the day, as you can with Uranus. Uranus, though, takes 84 years to go around the whole zodiac. Chiron only about 50 years. So if you're around the age of 50, you will be going through what is known as the Chiron return, the healer. So rather than being wounded, being the healer. Now the other very good aspect that's happening here, we have a nice Venus trine, flow of energy across to Saturn. That's very good. And we also have Pluto and Jupiter in Capricorn making a good aspect to Mars. That does bode well for the law, that's Jupiter, institutions, power, that's Pluto, and Mars. The spiritual warrior very much comes to mind when it's in the sign of Pisces, especially as it is close to Neptune, which is a very spiritual planet when used in its good way. In the negative, it's scandal. It obscures things as well. You can't see what the truth is. You can't see what's going on. It's the fog. The god of the ocean, of course, as well. Very powerful. So there, I like to see this. It's not going to last for very long, truly, because Mars is moving fairly fast. Jupiter and Pluto are retrograde, along with a lot of other planets retrograde at this time. But also, 0 degrees. It's important to know, a solar eclipse, that degree lasts for 6 months. At a lunar eclipse, the degree only lasts for about a month. So now, 0 degrees will be every single time, every month when the sun changes sign, it will be at 0 degrees. That's important. Of course, the autumn equinox, the winter solstice, are also at 0 degrees. And the 0 degrees is very much to do with a nation, these extremely important times of the year. Anything else to think about? Well, Venus is going to go forward this week. And Venus will reappear, not yet, as a morning star. Venus has been an evening star. So Venus as a morning star can be a lot more aggressive than Venus as an evening star, which is a lot more diplomatic. The rise of the feminine. So important at this time. And of course, looking at feminine leadership throughout the world, the New Zealand Prime Minister is a glowing example of how to get it right. Also, the lovely Malawi, the beautiful girl who got so badly wounded, also is so lovely. She graduated today from Oxford University. These are heartening things, and there are some positive things in the news. It's important to focus on that, to use the power of the mind to look at things that are positive rather than negative, because it's very easy to be caught up in all the fear factor of the coronavirus. And also, how many conspiracy theories are there out there? This is very much about Mars and Neptune together. It is. Anything that Neptune touches can be exactly that. Jupiter rules the south node, so there it is, entangled with Pluto, very much so. But also notice Mercury is in Cancer, which is also about feeling, trusting your instinct, what you feel about what you hear. And while Mercury is retrograde, it does it 3 times a year, it's not unusual. It's all about reviewing, going back over things, editing things, recognizing, looking at contracts, making sure you do see the detail, not get carried away. But that sense of recognizing we are all family, to use that old-fashioned song, which is rather a nice song, I liked it. So that sense of family, Cancer, coming together in a healing aspect. One other thing that I've noticed, which I did write about quite a few years back, is the Archangel Gabriel. In Orosoma, it's actually called Gabriel, interesting, the feminine, but also it is the Archangel of the Summer Solstice and the messenger god. And on my website, I've got a lovely healing process to invoke the angel at this time. I highly recommend it. It was given to me by a friend, Anne O'Keefe. I thank her for it. So please look at my website if you're not on it at the moment, and I'd love to know your feedback. Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com.